Alan, you emphasize the importance of building and maintaining relationships in construction while building major construction projects. What does that mean in Alan's world, in Alan's head? What does that mean? What does that mean to you?
I think for me, it's like the whole thing is about learning, and the most learning that you do is through your relationships with other people. You know, from right back to the start when I start building, you know, you have a mentor's relationship where you're learning off people all the time, and as you kind of progress, it becomes more of a collaborative thing where you're learning off your peers. You're still maybe got a mentor. You're getting more involved with other trades on site that are, you know, in a similar role to you, and you're kind of learning about how they are dealing with things, and how you can kind of incorporate into them. So we all work together like one unit.
Seldom happens on a construction site.
Yeah, I mean, it does at a kind of a micro level. I think there's lots of little informal things, and I often remember, you know, just that chat with, you know, maybe a plumber and a sparky in the same space as you, and it's nothing written down. It's nothing like a pre-start or anything. We're just having a yarn. This is what I'm planning today. What are you planning? We're never going to seed the room, but we're going to, you know, find a way that we can all work together. And then, you know, within that, you kind of learn what they're doing, how they're doing it, maybe some tolerances they have, and that they're learning the same from you. You're more conscious of each other in the space, and you're getting a better product and probably less rework out of it.
But that's an interesting point, right? Okay, you're talking about on-site sub-trades, which is trades working on-site, which is great. Now you say throw a client in the mix. Yep. Which give me a chance. You throw a client in the mix. Now throw designers that actually design the building, where you as a main contractor are throwing RFIs their way and a boatload of them, right? Okay. Then you've got your project management team that you deal with. Now I'll add another party, which is your councils, which are always on site. Yeah. I keep going. All right. So when we come back to building relationships and maintaining the relationships, it becomes quite a bit of a complex situation, doesn't it?
It is. It is, but it is enjoyable as well. You know, you've mentioned all those parties, and they definitely all kind of come to the table. But
and they're all important for building a building. Yeah, they're all part of it.
They're all important, but I think, you know, once you communicate and you're really honest, I think, you know, if it's bad news, you really just kind of have to give it in a way that's palatable, but give it. And that trust, I think, is kind of what drives that relationship as well. And even, you know, you mentioned the council, and, you know, quite often that can go better with inspectors that you've done lots of inspections with down through the years, and you know how each other operate, and you know he's going to want to see this and this in a certain way. He'll like to go and see the work first. We come back to the paperwork, or vice versa. And then when you can kind of learn people's habits, what they like, you can adapt what you're doing so that, you know, you're making it easy for them. And that's probably where my job is, that I'm trying to steer everything around. I'm trying to be a central conduit and make it easy for everybody without making it not easy for someone else. And that's given and taken. And that's enjoyable. It's fun, like, you know. I think that trust thing as well, you know, quite often the best, you know, relationships are built from, you know, that one time when our backs were against the wall, and, you know, we're in this now, let's collaborate, let's find a way, and you get over the line.
Have you worked on a project that's happened?
Oh,
reality?
Probably every one of them. That, you know,
every one of them, you reckon?
You always find it from a small scale.
What am I doing wrong in my career?
Well, it's a small scale to a big scale. You know, you always end up with your backs against the walls at some point, and you figure it out. You know, you figure it out. You find a way. You know, I know you're a BIM fanatic, and I love the idea of that. But probably when you're not using BIM as much, there's lots of clash detection that goes undetected.
Clash detection in BIM is just the tiniest portion of the capabilities of BIM, but I won't get into that.
It's the one that I'm, you know, most interested in, because I think,
it's the one I'm least interested in, by the way.
I feel like that drives an awful lot of clashes, where you end up having to get loads of parties involved, and let's find the best, fastest, cheapest way to resolve this to keep the show on the road.
Capabilities of just 3D, 4D go way beyond BIM. We haven't even scratched the surface in New Zealand. And in New Zealand, when we say BIM, everybody says clash detection, which I believe is just fucking bollocks.
Oh, really?
Straight up bollocks. It's like, it's I've seen clash detection. And I know we're a little off topic, but I've seen clash detection implemented on a job where it was so complex, getting a federated model, going back, resolving a single clash on site with a BIM model, coming back, refederating that model. That entire process was so convoluted. I just went, what are we doing? Why can't we just take a piece of paper, look up at the ceiling with the blocks, figure out exactly who gets the first route, and you take the next level.
That's how we're doing it. I thought it was the lo-fi version of it, but yeah,
No,
I mean,
but
it feels a bit analog when you're doing it. But that
sometimes it's just simpler.
yeah,
Yeah, but I mean, in saying that, if implemented well, it can be quite a good process. But 4D in itself stretches way beyond